The Abilene Chamber of Commerce takes its responsibility as the advocate for local business very seriously. It is important that voters go to the polls with the information they need to make wise decisions. Candidates in Texas House District 71, Taylor County Sheriff, and Taylor County Commissioner Precinct 1 races were given the opportunity to participate in video interviews at the Chamber. One candidate was unable to participate. Here are the interviews.
Today we're speaking with Elias Carrasquillo, who is running for Sheriff of Taylor County. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Why don't you give us a brief biography of yourself?
Sure. I was born in the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn, New York. Tough neighborhood. I wouldn't change a thing. I was glad I was raised there. Career-wise, we'll start there. I became an EMT and worked for the New York City Fire Department. At the same time, working as a lieutenant for a volunteer ambulance corps in the neighborhood of Bedford-Stuyvesant. I moved on to the NYPD, and I was there for 9/11, some of the highlights. After the towers came down, worked 30-hour day. I was also, another highlight from the NYPD, I was recruited by the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, to do some work for them, some counterterrorism work, and it was pretty intimate work. Long story on that. I moved to Florida. I took a job as director of security for an entertainment company. It's a major international entertainment company. Loved it, learned a lot about budgeting. I was upper echelon. I had 450 employees under me. So it was very interesting, good experience. I had the itch to go back to police work. I joined the Sunrise Police Department in South Florida. I worked close to 15 years with them. I also did undercover work as narcotics. Then I was a field training officer. I was a corporal, master field training officer. Retired from there. Retired twice, New York and Florida. Moved to Texas, took a job with the sheriff's office. I was a month shy of 3 years. I worked there. Seeing the potential that the sheriff's office, could have, it prompted me to first prayed about it. Of course, I always acknowledge God. And God started opening doors, and I'm running for sheriff.
Why should people vote for you?
Because I bring old school values. I'm an old school policeman. I believe in preserving what we have here. I'm not here to change anybody's lifestyle. I love it here. I've been here, I'm going on 4 years. I'm a Texan officially. I'm married to a beautiful Texan woman. That's who has me all filled up. She's great. Love the people here. They're honest. It's something rare. Like I come here and I see honesty, I see integrity, neighborliness. I mean, it's great. It's beautiful. Love the livestock. Seeing the livestock around. It's. I wish I would have been raised here. Put it that way. So I love to serve the community as sheriff.
What do you think the greatest challenge is that the sheriff's office is facing, and how would you address it?
Right now, morale. I mean, they may say morale's up, but and changing the mindset. Because this comes from my experience. I've spoken to many, and they've approached me, many of the deputies. Many, they don't feel challenged, they don't feel trained. They're scared to come to work. Some are scared to come to work. They don't know what to expect. And I don't want to go into too much negativity, but there's a lot of changes that we need to make in the sheriff's office. A lot. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, every budget session, one of the top issues that comes up is pay in the sheriff's department. How much should sheriff's deputies and corrections officers be paid?
At least starting in the 50s to 55, because the economy and how the prices are going up on everything. I mean, you go to Walmart, you have one bag, it's $100, and you're like, what did I buy? So it's kind of tough.
And currently they're being paid?
I think 54 maybe, I believe, 54 starting, okay. Or 50 for the correction officers. Sure, which is fair.
Yeah. I know that on your website you talk about a lot of programs you'd like to get started.
Oh, yes, sir.
How many deputies do you need to do what you want to do?
Well, for the Deputy Explorer programs is for children, for kids, actually teens. We take them at 14 years old and up. It takes 2 deputies and training, which I'll send them to training to run the programs. So it doesn't cost anything. It's just bringing the kids in.
Well, what about overall? How many deputies do you think the Sheriff's Department needs to operate day to day?
Day to day, they need at least 5. And right now, well, I don't know about right now because I know they recruit a lot of people. But when I was there, they were running the county with 2 deputies. That's 806.9 square miles with 2 deputies. And I saw it because I worked there. I'm not making it up. Sometimes if somebody calls in sick, it's only the sergeant and 1 deputy. So that's dangerous. It's dangerous. If they're tied up in Trent and something happens in Lawn, it's a good 40-minute ride, even going code 3.
Yeah. So you think 5 is the right number?
5 to 6. 5 to 6. And what I plan to do is there are schedule changes you can do to double manpower. And plus units that I'm going to create, like I'm going to create a street crimes unit. They'll be operating also out there, but they specifically target trends, specifically target drug trafficking, sex trafficking. And so they'll be out there also on top of having deputies patrolling.
Okay. How can you deal with the rapid growth of the county? I mean, there are new housing additions that are popping up everywhere.
Yes, sir.
It seems like.
Yes, sir. So that's why we need deputies out there, and I have a plan to create sectors where specifically each deputy will patrol that area, not just roam the whole thing. Or sometimes people see them meeting up, there's 3 cars together talking. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I need my deputies patrolling the community.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So when they're patrolling the community, describe that. What are they doing?
Oh,
Besides driving.
well, meeting with the people, stopping. You see somebody outside, stop, talk to them. Visit businesses, talk to the businesses, see what their concerns are. I want to hear everything that the community. They need to be my eyes and ears also for the community. I want to hear what complaints are out there, what crimes are out there, because the best crime fighters is the community, because they know everything that's going on in their community. So I want to hear from them. I don't want them afraid not to, come to me.
Yeah.
Or my deputies.
The sheriff's office is an interesting one because you really have your emphasis is outside the city limits of Abilene, even though 80% of the votes in the election usually come from Abilene.
Yes.
For that. How can you help Abilene itself as a sheriff?
Well, if we have the manpower, Abilene is in the county, Ty is in the county, Merkel's in the county. We can help them out with whatever they need. I would like to create a relationship with the Abilene Police Department, maybe a little task force to combat whatever we need to take care of, whatever concerns the community has. I will be involved with Abilene also.
Yeah. Okay. I know that school safety is mentioned on your website.
Yes, sir.
What are you going to do? What do we have today with school safety, and what will you do?
Right. I plan to man each school with actual deputies. I have plans I don't want to reveal right now to do that, but that is the goal, to have an actual deputy in each school. Because I visited Lawn. Lawn is so far away and it's so solitary. We need deputies in there. We need them.
Yeah. Do you support the thought of having teachers armed?
I do.
Okay.
I do support that.
You mentioned on your website wanting to aid the elderly, the mentally ill, and those with disorders of dementia.
Sure.
Talk to me about that.
Well,
please.
there's many programs out there we can choose from, but I specifically actually participate in the Lifesaver program, which it consists of tracking devices that you can band your persons with dementia upon the family approving it. They're waterproof, they can bathe with them, and we'll get what we call ambassadors. I was an ambassador to that. We can track them. We have a tracker that if they get lost, we track them. So it's a great program.
Yeah.
Same with autism.
Well, explain to me why that's really the sheriff's responsibility.
It is, because it's part of the community. That person will go missing. We have to get involved. That's why it is part of our responsibility to find that person. I'll have drones, hopefully, get drones to search for people, get our canine guys out there. It's a major thing when someone with dementia goes missing or Alzheimer's. It's a major, major incident.
Yes.
And it'll be all hands on deck to find that person.
I know there's a lot of technology that has become available in the area of law enforcement. Does Taylor County efficiently use the latest technology?
I believe just recently they've gone to computers for their work, do their reports, because everything was handwritten or typed. So I believe so far they've gone that route. You know, I will look into technology and the cost. It depends on all that. You know, on the cost and how we can use it efficiently.
Speaking of the cost, the sheriff's office, as all the offices in Taylor County government are, report more or less to the county commissioners, in that the county commissioners set the budgets for the different offices. Do you have any relationship with the county commission at this point?
I've met with a few of them.
Okay.
Yes, sir, and they're very receptive to me.
Yeah.
You know.
How can you get them to vote for more money for you?
Showing how efficient we can be, and presenting, if we need some type of technology or anything like that, presenting a good presentation to them, so hopefully they can agree. So,
okay.
Trying to convince them.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the Taylor County Jail. Is it large enough to hold the number of people that we need to put in?
Not really, because almost on a daily basis, I used to work for the transport unit also there. We transport 24, 30 prisoners sometimes in a day to other jails to house them because we don't have the room.
Uh-huh.
So that is an issue.
Yeah.
And then we have to pay those counties to house our prisoners.
And I guess you also have a deputy that's gone to handle that, which, yeah. Oops, I lost my place. Sorry. The jail is, we had an escape or two over the last few years. How do you keep them from escaping?
Keep up to date with the technology. I'm going to tell you a story. One of the individuals that buzzed out a prisoner, it was because it was faulty equipment. The sheriff denies it, but this gentleman told me, Eli, I owned up to it. I made a mistake and I buzzed him out because on that day specifically, there was a maintenance personnel coming in and out. He kept buzzing in and out, but you couldn't really see. He buzzes out the prisoner by mistake, and poor guy gets fired. I wouldn't have fired him. I would have investigated the situation, make sure he wasn't in cahoots, suspend him, come back and retrain him. That gentleman gave 8 years of his life, has a family, 8 years to the department, and he gets fired. I found that to be wrong.
I know that there's been some criticism on the escape that the public was not notified.
Right.
Talk to me about that.
I will immediately notify, first of all the agencies out there, all the police agencies of the escape, and put out some kind of report on either Facebook, or if the media's there, I'll talk to the media about it. I'll be totally transparent.
Texans are a pretty welcoming group of folks. Being from New York might not be the biggest advantage that you guys would have. How can you overcome that?
You know what? By showing who I am. I'll give you an example. Somebody told me, hey, get yourself a cowboy hat and boots if you want to win. I said, I'm not going to start with deceiving anybody. This is me. I'm going to tell you what I want to do for the community. If you want to base your vote because I'm from New York, I mean, that's on you. I can't, twist your arm and make you vote for me. But if you want an efficient department, you want a real transparency, you want a good sheriff, I'm your man.
How many terms do you want to serve?
Maybe 2 or 3. God willing, and I'm getting older, I'm not getting any younger. So it depends on all that, how I feel, my health, how things are going.
Yeah.
But I love to serve this community as long as I can.
Yeah. What question that you figured I would ask have I not asked?
How the campaign is going?
Okay. How's it going?
You know what? It's going really well. I'm receiving a lot of good feedback. We had the town hall meeting on the 5th, and I had a lot of people come to my table taking my cards, telling me, hey, you got my vote. So it's going great. To me, it's going great, no matter what. And I'm having a good time at it.
Let me jump back to one more thing on the
Yes, sir.
deputies. How do you retain them?
Being a servant leader, being out there with them, show them that you're out there supporting them, back them up on calls. I'm the sheriff. It doesn't mean I stop being a policeman. I'm a policeman. I'm not a politician. I'll be out there with my men. I'll treat them right. My goal is to have a family environment. And I want everybody to look the same. I'm even changing their uniforms. But everybody's going to have the same uniform. Jailers and our street deputies. They will have so we can all feel the same. We can all feel part of the family. So first I have to work on the mentality when I get in there and show them who I am, and I'm supporting them, whatever they need. They can come to me, talk to me,
That's great.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think our time is up. Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you for having me.
Appreciate
This
it.
is great. I feel blessed. Thank you.